Hey now, what is up, everybody? It's a special edition of the Let's Go Devils podcast here on, you know it, the Let's Go Devils podcast network. And my name is Scotty, along here with the infamous Baron of the Beer, also known as the Beer Baron. However you want to say it, however you want to describe him. And Crew is another kind of nickname he goes by, given to him by our illustrious fans who are out there on the old YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, wherever the hell you can listen to some Let's Go Devils podcast action. And I heard there was some news. Going on today in the world of the New Jersey Hockey Devils. Yeah. Hello, everybody.
Yeah, Sheldon.
I haven't looked at
Sheldon.
I haven't looked at the YouTube page yet, but yeah, go for it.
Sheldon Keefe was officially named the new head coach, even though it was announced a couple of days ago. Last Tuesday, I believe, was the actual date that it was officially announced. But today they had the press conference where they introduced Sheldon Keefe to the New Jersey media and to the fans and to the adoring public. And as you know, as per usual, they had Blitzer of the Blitzer and Harris group, and they also had Tommy Fitz, and they had the new coach. Matt Laughlin was the MC. Matt always does an awesome job, by the way. He's like
MC Matty.
I know he MCs every event for them. Like, he does every single event. They're going to be like, we're going to do Employee of the Month. And like, Matt, give Matt a call. He'll do it. Come on, Matt. Come on down. But because he does such an awesome job, like, he really does a stellar job at that. So Matt Laughlin, I was able to, it coincided with a prep at my work today. So I was able to actually listen to the entire press conference, including the Q&A from the.
You were working? You were?
No, I actually was working. No, this is called multitasking for people that don't understand how that works.
Oh, that's multitasking.
You can listen with these things that they have little speakers, and you put them inside your ears, and then you do whatever you have to do. I was actually doing a lot of work today. I was crazy busy. I have a lot going on. But anyway,
do you hear that?
Regardless,
everyone living in the state of New Jersey, that's your tax dollars at work over there. The teacher supposed to be teaching America's youth, listening to hockey press conferences. You know, I don't know.
If you listen to this podcast, you'd be like, well, I'm proud to pay that man's salary for being able to deal with those Devils all day. And I don't know if I'm talking about the kids or the actual New Jersey Devils. Hey-o. But anyways.
We got a request already from Max. Tarps off for Keefe.
Yeah, tarps off for Keefe. My feed isn't working up here, bud.
Okay.
I don't know why the my YouTube feed is not loading up, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a minute. Hey, it's a Tuesday night. It's a Tuesday night, Max. I don't know if this tarp is coming off. It's a Tuesday night. We'll see. It's
Tuesday night tarp off.
But Tuesday night tarp off.
It's a tarp off. It's a tarp off.
I do want to dissect the presser because there was a lot of it was a lot of like the typical
you can
answer
tell he's
question
a teacher
stuff.
now. He's using high school words over there. Let me dissect this over here.
What remedial school did you go to that dissect is a big word for you? Like, what lowbrow Catholic
break it
high
down.
school did you go to?
I would say break it down. You're dissecting over here. I'm in classroom mode, I feel like.
We'll debrief.
You're gonna debrief? Now you've gotten a lawyer mode.
Debrief it. No, actually, I get that from my buddy. My buddy who's a state trooper. Every time we hang out, he's always like, "Let's debrief about this," and I'm like, "All right." And he just always throws like technical terms because he does like SWAT team stuff. He always like throws those technical terms. I'm like, I don't know if we're gonna have a conversation about what our kids did during that lacrosse game, or if we're gonna go bust somebody's door down and take out a criminal. But either way, yeah. Kind of softball questions, you know, the stuff that you would typically hear or you would expect, especially from this the New Jersey media. It's not like Toronto, so we'll get into that too, because you can guarantee he's probably like, oh, That was it. All right, good. You know, that
He's
that
like,
was a
that's
good
it? This
introduction.
is a breeze. You kidding me? All right.
There's like 7 guys here. That's it. There's 7 guys, and one doesn't even have a microphone. He's holding a broom. But yeah. So they ask him the questions of like, what really drew you to the team, and what's the little? We're gonna have a little fun game because I know you said you didn't get a chance
Did
to
he
really.
come out to like some sort of Rolling Stone song? Because I'm going to be making Keith Richards
No,
references throughout the rest of
he.
the year now. Because I'm
I missed
Sheldon Keefe. Sheldon Keefe
I
Richards over here. Hello,
I missed
darling.
the very very beginning of it. So the like very first introduction. So I don't think he walked out to music. I'm gonna go
Well,
ahead
he should. They should get on
and
that, don't
say
you
no.
think?
They should have. And why
Hello.
they didn't is beyond me. Oh, there
Hello,
it is.
press
Now it's
conference.
working. Oh,
There's only 7 of you here today. Let me play a little blues rock and roll guitar for you. Keith.
By the way, I'm
Sheldon
getting
Keith
such
Richards.
I'm getting such a terrible. That's such a bad impression. I'm getting such a bad feeling. Speaking of which,
Oh, I never claimed it was good.
This might be the Rangers' year. I hate to say that, but it's not looking good. Dallas.
That's only 1-0.
By the ghost of Dimebag, you might be our only hope. But anyways, back to the
best thing about a Stars game. Pantera comes on every time they score.
Exactly. So we're gonna do a little Q&A. Okay, you're gonna be Sheldon Keefe because I want to see what you think he answered or how he answered the questions. Okay, so one question.
Do I do it in the Keith Richards voice?
No, please don't, because I will leave. So.
I need like a sticker hanging, like on the side of my lip, just kind of like bouncing down.
That big ash hanging off the end. All right,
it's like airplane bottles of whiskey. I'm just like constantly pouring into a cup, like that. Like, oh, well, give me another.
Give me another one. Yeah. All right. So, what do you think? What do you think he responded to when he was asked the question, "What drew you to New Jersey?" Like, what was the determining factor? Because you know that he basically got let go. He released that video. Basically saying thank you to Toronto. Went to lunch with his wife and got the phone call from whoever the GM of somebody from Toronto called him up and was like, "Hey, Tom Fitzgerald would like to talk to you if that's okay." And he was like, "Wow, like that." It happened really, really quick. So, what do you think his answer was like when he was asked, "What was what drew you to this team?"
Well, I think I couldn't get no satisfaction from Toronto.
Please, Lord. It was like playing. It was like having Mick in the front of the band, and he's all pissed off, And here I am trying to carry everybody. I'm 6 sheets to the wind, loaded out of my mind. Anyway.
Oh man. Well, I would say that. Wait, what was the question again?
He'll be okay.
I forgot.
He's on the mend. He's on the mend.
What's the question again?
The question is like the softball question of what drew you to this team. So my question to you is, what do you think his answer was?
I would say
money.
The young core.
The ghost of Sam Wood speaks.
The young core, and the ability to not have to go through a rebuilding, which we did for 10 years. And the idea of, you can take this young core, which is very sort of similar to what Toronto has, and kind of march your way back to the playoffs. That's what I would say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes.
And get a little satisfaction.
It was the very typical, their team is young. They're loaded with talent. I feel like they had a down year last year. Actually, this is verbatim what he said. And the players were not satisfied. See him?
Yeah.
Players were not satisfied. The players
There
weren't
was no
satisfied.
satisfaction.
No, and they
I can't
it
get
was
no.
basically it was like the atypical answers that you would expect from any coach that would take over a team. Like, we want to get back to winning ways. We want to make it to bring a Stanley Cup back to New Jersey. You know, blah 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 blah. I feel like the biggest takeaways from the entire presser, because it was, it's all fluff piece. Anytime you have a new coach come in, it's always going to be like, things are great, things are rosy. We promise you the world, and we'll see what happens. I know Novo asked him about his failure to get out of the first round of the playoffs with Toronto.
Whoop.
And he didn't like get deep into it,
Well,
because
he
kept on. Well, he did once, but he kept saying, like, over and over again, like how, the Toronto's behind him. Like, that chapter's closed. And, to answer questions, it seemed like he wanted to say, like, it's kind of stupid for me to stand up here to ask, answer questions about Toronto, considering I'm going to be the Devils head coach. But at the same time, very gracious with his answers. He kind of basically was like, I when I made that video, I put all that stuff to rest. He goes, it was, winning in the NHL is extremely hard. And he goes, getting to the playoffs is hard enough, and then getting through the playoffs is even harder. So it was a learning experience, and it just makes him a better coach. So once again, kind of the atypical or stereotypical response that you would expect, but I feel like he's going to have a chip on his shoulder.
You can't always get what you want. Is that what you're saying there?
No. You could try sometimes. Oh, my God.
I was thinking Jumpin' Jack Flash got him over here.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Very nice.
And the honky-tonk woman.
The honky-tonk woman.
There could be.
Turner.
Be.
If there's only a Turner Stevenson was still on this team in some kind of capacity, we could have like a Tina Turner kind of reference in there.
Simply the best.
Now we have a show, says Johnny.
I mean, maybe
Everybody's
he just
wooing,
had a
buddy.
little sympathy for the Devils. Like that's all. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, yeah.
And then when they score, you could just say, yeah, woo! With some Taylor ham and disco fries.
When Jack Hughes was reached for comment, he said, "Start me up. I'm ready to play. Let's do it."
That's a low-hanging fruit that we forgot.
Oh, wow.
Ramona's going to love all the Rolling Stones references constantly and the horrible Keith Richards impersonation all season long. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of softball questions in there. I'll throw a softball to you guys,
Okay.
and everyone out there on YouTube and Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Now that the coaching search is over, it may not be the person you were expecting or the person that you wanted in your own personal opinion, but what excites you about the idea of Sheldon Keefe Richards coaching this team? I'll go to you first, Beer Baron.
In my opinion, I feel like he was one of my top 3 candidates that I wanted to take over this team. I feel like he fits the mold of where the team is going, where even Fitzy said in the presser today, like he said he wanted to find somebody that was going to keep moving the team forward instead of having to completely reset it. And I'm paraphrasing it, but and I feel like that's the best response or the best idea going forward, because he does fit the mold of where this team is going. And Sheldon Keefe was talking about having a fast attacking team that attacks on every phase of the puck. So not just constant forecheck, but back check, forecheck, constant pressure throughout the entire rink. And I mean, in my opinion, it's you're getting a guy that's going to be able to take some of our star players and push them even further, and you're getting a guy that he's a winner. In 18 seasons, I didn't know this until today when I was listening to it. 18 seasons as a head coach in any level, he has made the playoffs consecutively. He wins wherever he goes. He's one of the fastest head coaches to 200 wins in the NHL history. I know a lot of people will look at the playoff success or lack thereof and point to that as being like, oh, well, he can't get out of the first round. Was it him or was it upper management? I feel like him and Fitzgerald are going to have a lot to prove this year. I feel like Sheldon Keefe is going to come in with a huge chip on his shoulder. And I said it, off air to the guys, even the Hockey on Tap guys, because we're in this big group chat now. I kind of want to go to Toronto this year as a trip, as a podcast trip, and just see how that goes that first game back, and just watch him absolutely obliterate Toronto. So I feel like it was the best choice. Berube was my second out of the three, but Berube also would have been probably a reset, and you would have seen a complete culture shift. So I feel like Keefe is the right direction. He was what we wanted to do, but we didn't have the coach to do it in Lindy Ruff. Sorry, Lindy. I'll still have a beer with you, though.
And so you're saying
Nate, wait,
you didn't want them to,
thank you, Nate.
You didn't want them to basically paint it black and start all over again.
No.
See what I did there?
No. We had to paint.
No?
when they do, the Devils used to do when they did wear their black jerseys. They used to have that song play.
They should. They should.
Yeah, they should. Well, but real quick, I'm on a tangent. Really quick.
Well, yeah, it's Sam Wu's turn. You had your moment. You can.
I just have a quick question. All right, fine. Go.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
My brain doesn't work well.
No.
It's unrelated. It's unrelated. But you just brought up something, and I always forget to ask.
Here it comes.
Alternate jerseys have to be replaced after 3 years, right? So the jersey's been around for 3 years. What are they going to do?
Burn it.
Burn it. Get rid of it. Hopefully,
Bring
just
in a
use
new
the
alternate
stadium
jersey.
series.
Yeah.
Hopefully, nice. Who's ever in charge of that has it under their thumb. Oh, under my thumb. Sorry. All right, Sam Wu, you go, because Johnny Danks already stole my reason that I'm excited on the YouTube chat. But I want to hear Sam Wu. Why would you be excited about the hiring of Sheldon Keefe Richards?
Yeah, I'll save my negativity for another podcast at a later date. But I'll think of the positives here. Number one, what caught my
time is on our side here.
Yeah.
Time is on our side here.
Yeah. What caught my attention on the press conference was not actually Sheldon Keefe, was actually David Blitzer when he first spoke. And I've always been harping on ownership to show a little personality, pork chops and applesauce, kind of personality. And I was pleasantly surprised, and I hope he's being authentic and truthful about it, that David Blitzer's been following Sheldon Keefe's career since the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, which I was kind of taken back by, because I thought this guy only knows, stocks, making money, other things, but
he does know that.
Yeah, he does know that, which is important. But the fact of the matter is that he's been following this coach, this no-name coach at the time, and following his career. And when the opportunity happened, even Tom Fitzgerald was like, I hope he would take our call. I hope he would entertain a conversation. And when they first spoke, that's where the Fitz magic came. They just spoke hockey. And
3 hours this time.
Yeah. Sheldon Keefe is a hockey guy. His track record, and there's going to be a lot of haters that said, well, he was in Toronto. He had all these stars. All that. Toronto is a pressure cooker. And he replaced Mike Babcock under bad terms when he got canned. And then he took the franchise in a more positive direction. Sometimes you don't get the results you want. If I'm going to put a positive spin on it, if you remember the Devils before they won their first cup and even their second cup, there were a lot of first-round exits and Game 7s and upsets. the rounds
Look at
that
what
he should
happened
have
in
won.
96.
Well, 96 didn't even make the playoffs.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, but in Toronto, you can't keep a coach long term. They want results right away. Where in New Jersey, you do have the luxury. I mean, I think Lindy Ruff had an extended stay. But I think Sheldon Keefe, look, from what I've read, and I don't know how true this is, but the 2-year contract that he had with Toronto, they basically ripped it up and gave him more money and then added 2 more years on top of that, total 4 years. So the money was good. I like the fact that they talked about his family coming over because that's a big factor. And I think New Jersey won him over in terms of the state because it is a family state. You're near New York. There's plenty of things to do, and it's a great place to raise your kids. So I think it checked all the boxes. And timing is everything, guys. And maybe the timing will be good with Sheldon Keefe the way the timing was good when Peter DeBoer took over in his second coaching gig.
I wish we would have held on to him a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So, okay. Fair
That's
enough.
my
So
spin.
you're saying,
That's
you're
my
saying,
spin.
You're saying, give me Sheldon. Give me Sheldon. So give me Sheldon. Come on.
I mean, there's other things. There's other things. I mean, if you talk to Leafs Nation, he changes the lines too much, worse than Hines. He favors certain players. He only holds certain players accountable, others not. So, like, I'm reading Leafs Nation, but I don't know who to believe.
You know, I mean, Leafs fans, they're like a bunch of wild horses. Wild horses.
Oh, my God. I hope this is like the only time that it's nonstop.
Oh no, it's gonna be. But
your catalog knowledge is pretty impressive, buddy. I mean,
it's gonna be all season long. But yeah,
oh God,
you make a grown man cry.
We're just getting into some sticky fingers here, you know. But either way, I think the thing that I am most excited about here is our boy Johnny Danks. Had mentioned it on the YouTube chat that one thing I didn't really, because I was a little down on the idea of Keefe with his track record for the playoffs. Yeah, he's made it there, but I don't want to be the perennial, you know, look at what's going on Long Island right now. You know, they're gonna get to the playoffs every year and they're gonna have essentially no chance of getting past that first round. If they do, it's a miracle. That's not what I want. I want us to be able to make some deep runs. So, yeah, I have some concern with the fact that we have seen, especially here as fans of the New Jersey Devils, we have seen these, coaches from the AHL come up with all this pedigree and then it not fully translate at the NHL level. You know, looking at John Hines in particular. So I was a little bit concerned with the idea of Keefe, you know, coming in. However, one factor that I really didn't take into play was, yeah, we all know Toronto is just, you know, crazy as hell up there with the press and the media and blah, 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 blah. But for this team, we know Sheldon Keefe is going to preach accountability, which is something we've all said has been missing. But I think an important factor is his age. Coming from Lindy Ruff, who was much older,
and not as
to
cool.
To Sheldon Keefe, what is he? He's like 43, 44?
43.
I'm older than he is. I'm older than him.
I'm a year older now. I just turned 44.
Yeah.
So he's like our age.
He's our age.
And I think he might have a lot easier time relating to these players and seeing some of the, you know, the characteristics of today's game, which were never around when Lindy Ruff played, you know, and some of these older coaches. I think he might be able to relate and create that bond with this team a little bit easier simply based on his age. And I don't think he's going to completely overdo it with the analytics. I know it's something that he is, you know, obviously attuned to, but I think there could be a balance there with him that needs to be struck. But I'm excited as someone who wanted to see this team have accountability and not just certain lines or certain players, but everybody be accountable. I know for me personally, I was getting so frustrated when you'd see Alexander Holtz make one bad play, even though he scored a goal, he makes one bad play and then he's benched for 2 periods, and then we're watching other people just give away the puck and they're just getting rolled back out there shift after shift after shift. I'd like to see accountability across the board. And I think that youth within Sheldon Keefe might be a hidden factor that really can motivate and push this team in the right direction.
Yeah, he could say things like Riz and not feel like an old creep, not seem like that Steve Buscemi meme where he's like, "What are you high school kids doing?" By the way, real quick, big shout out to Nate. Thank you, Nate, for the super chat before. So what are we supposed to do if the Rags win the cup? We go ahead and we win 3 after that. That's my answer to that. The last time they won, we went on a nice little dynasty run of our own. So if that's the way the cards lay them out, that's the way they lay them out. And if they win, and you'll hear it, you'll hear crap, you'll hear, oh, we have blah blah blah. It happens. It will happen. You just smile and you nod. You just smile and you nod. And you
I don't think Billy Dean and I would ever talk again.
You will. And then Max, thank you, Max, for the super chat too. Game 7 pregame hype speech was kind of lame.
It's all tied up.
Let's go.
Panthers just scored. Power play goal.
Thank you, Johnny. Thanks.
Woo!
All right, who scored? Tarasenko.
Tarasenko was it Reinhardt?
I forgot he was on the freaking Panthers.
I think it might have been Sam. Is it
Tarasenko Revenge Tour? Let's go, buddy.
Okay. I'm watching the replay right now. But either way, I think there's a lot of things. Oh, yeah, it snuck right in there. Woo! I think there's a lot of things to be excited for about Sheldon Keefe Richards. And honestly, with the coaches that are out there, I mean, he might be the best choice for this team.
Listen, you have Ballsma going to the Kraken. You have Berube going to Toronto. Keefe, there's I think the Kings signed their interim coach to be
their interim assistant.
I really do. Listen, I really feel like they went in the right direction. And to be honest with you, one of my favorite parts of tonight, outside of all your Keith Richards impersonations, was the fact that we have to say two very famous people are in this podcast tonight. We want to say a big shout out to Mr. Samuel. It's good to see you, buddy. And everybody was very excited to see your lovely face. And Josh Harris is in the group. We want to say thank you to Josh for listening to the podcast tonight. I think Codex might have figured it out that it was actually him. And we appreciate the support. So thank you for listening. But going back to Sheldon, one of the things that a lot of guys were kind of pointing to is you look at the success that he had with Austin Matthews, and you're like, well, anybody can get that kind of production out of somebody like Austin Matthews. Where was the accountability with Mitch Marner in the playoffs when he kind of like loafed it back, even though that wasn't his man? Pasta wasn't his man in that play that cost him the series. But I think he got everything they could get out of that team. I mean, you had Austin Matthews scoring 70 goals or 69 goals or whatever he ended up with this year, completely crushing it year in and year out. You had top-line guys that were doing top-line things. That team was always dangerous when Keefe was behind the bench. They lacked certain things. They lacked a good goaltender, in my opinion, that could have carried them over the finish line. And they didn't have any stalwart defensemen that were really going to be a standout for that team. So they had a lot of offensive firepower, and they kind of paid for it in the sense that they, had all these guys that were taking up a ton of the cap room on that team, where they couldn't have a big name on the blue line or they couldn't have a big name in goal. the thing with the Devils, what they have right now is they have good balance between how the structured contracts are with all of our star players, with Jack, with Nico, with Brat, with Timo, even with Dougie. Like, you have all these contracts which are really evenly balanced throughout the lineup. This summer, I believe Fitzy, when he's talking about going big game hunting, I really believe that they're going to be going after either Markstrom or one of these goaltenders. And there's already rumors starting to circulate that they are starting to, circle back on some of those guys. And this team, as long as they can stay healthy, and that's the biggest part, as long as we can stay healthy, I think we'll be a very fast and dangerous team. The one thing that they need to do, and I promised I'd do this, Brady Tkachuk. It's one thing I told you to that Reddit user out there that complained that I said it. I told you I'd bring it up at least once every podcast. So Brady Tkachuk, boys. There it is. There's my one reference.
Why don't you go ahead, Sam? I see you got a little special message there.
I was going to save it for the end of the podcast. Peter Seifert. He wanted a shout out.
Why don't you do it right now?
Well,
yeah, you just did. You technically just did.
All right. I was going to spend 5 minutes on it. I didn't want to change the subject. So hold on. Let me get this.
Dude, nurses are
Mrs.
the best.
Seifert. There, she graduated from nursing school, so thank you. Woo! Congratulations.
Hey, listen. My mom, who's 74 years old, is still a working nurse. My mom has been a nurse for 50 years. I have a very special place in my heart for all the nurses out there in the world. Some of the best people you ever meet. So congratulations to Miss Seifert on graduating nursing school. You're going to go out there and do some amazing things. Yeah,
I can actually speak to that just recently. I just appeared on the podcast. I've been out off of LTIR, but I dealt with probably a good couple dozen nurses in the past 6 weeks. So big shout out to Mrs. Seifert. Nurses, they do wonders, putting you back together. I'll explain more on the next Woo Report. I don't know when that's going to be, but I figured I'd join today. So
big congrats.
Well, it's good to have you back, buddy. Yeah.
So
Tom,
there's so much that you can start analyzing and going over, but I kind of agree with Keefe's assessment of, well, that was in Toronto, and Toronto's over with. The Devils are a different team.
Yeah,
they aren't the Toronto Maple Leafs. And a lot of times, I'm not saying it's going to be this time, but a lot of times when coaches are in those situations, like being up there in Toronto, with the mad media, and also just a slew of, let's face it. I mean, Austin Matthews is most likely going to the Hall of Fame, like at some point or another, as long as his career keeps going the way it is. You got some really, really great players up there. I think a lot of times the Captain Hindsight glasses come on afterwards, and you can say to yourself, you know what? Maybe I should have done that a little bit differently over there. This seemed to work really well and was a good motivator. This maybe not so much. Maybe I need to push it more, or maybe I need to pull it back a little bit. I think that, the more that I'm analyzing this, I think there's a lot of things in Sheldon Keefe's resume that can really be beneficial. And sometimes you don't hit that home run right out of the park right away. And sometimes it takes going to a second team, or something along those lines before you really find your true own. And let's just face it, Toronto during the regular season, they're absolutely phenomenal. The record speaks for itself. What has he got, like a 670 winning percentage or something like that in the regular season?
It's pretty damn up there.
Yeah, obviously the playoffs, we need some work there. But, you can look back and see, okay, I had this phenomenal team on the offensive side, but obviously we were lacking a little bit defensively. Sounds like the New Jersey Devils. We also were a little bit shaky in goaltending. Sounds like the New Jersey Devils. So what worked, what didn't? You can self-analyze. Holy Lord! Verhage! Uh-oh!
Let's go!
And it's
Let's
2,
go, boys!
1, Panthers! Uh-oh!
Verhage, let's
See,
go,
everyone was all of a sudden just like, oh, the Panthers are done. The Rangers are winning the cup. And the series ain't over yet. This series is not over yet. Ah. Boink, boink. A double boink up into the air and then batted out.
Double boinker.
It went off what was that, Lindgren's like face, basically. Wow. 2-1 Panthers.
Thank you for the game update, Scotty.
No problem. That's what I do. But I really feel like some of those misfires that happen in Toronto can really lead to hitting the bullseye in New Jersey. Saying, you know what? Austin Matthews, Jack Hughes, very similar type of player. This really worked well for Austin. This did not. Let me see if I can kind of take my experience there and put it to Jack Hughes to make him the best player that he can be.
See, and
I think that hindsight could be really beneficial for him.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I wonder if there's a part of him that's going to look back at like how he, how he worked with some of the star players like Austin Matthews. Like, would he look back at that and be like, yeah, maybe I did give him too much leeway? You were saying way before how Sheldon Keefe, or maybe it was Sam that brought it up, that Sheldon Keefe would, favor certain players and certain, things like that. And it's like, yeah, you do end up favoring certain players because in a crunch time, if I need a goal, guess who I'm going to put out there? I'm probably going to put out, Austin Matthews or Marner or, like one of the top guys. Just like when you're in a crunch time, like you are going to trust Jack Hughes a little bit more. You are going to trust Nico Hischier a little bit more. And those are the guys you're going to end up favoring because they're that good and you favor them. I mean, you're not going to put a Curtis McDermott in a tied game late in the third where you either need an offensive or defensive face-off one, or you need to up the pressure and put in another goal. You're going to put out the guys that are going to earn the paycheck, and that's the thing is his track record with those guys is great. Timo Meier is one of the players that I'm really, really interested in because we saw what happened after Lindy Ruff left. Now, yes, Timo dealt with injury all year. And then it was kind of around the same time. Maybe it was coincidence that, Ruff gets fired and then Timo goes on that absolute monster tear of like the last quarter of the season. Or was it just due to a different style of coaching? And is that the style that's going to be what Sheldon Keefe is bringing in? We talk about this team needing to get a little bit bigger in certain areas. Like if they could bring on somebody that could, beef up the team a little bit more. Bennett, like you talked about last time we were on the podcast together, you talked about Sam Bennett and you talked about a couple other guys that like would be great offseason targets for the Devils to go after. Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Go after these guys that are going to be a little bit beefier. Go after the guys that are not going to clog up your bottom four, your bottom six, or your fourth line or your third line, so your bottom six. You want somebody that's going to be beefy, but it's actually, it's going to contribute to the scoring sheet. But we got the coach. First step is in place. System will be in place. Supposedly, because what they were saying during the give Brady or give me death. You're damn right, Michael.
Codex
give
and
me
Michael
Brady
are
or give me death.
There with you.
That should be on a T-shirt somewhere. Where the hell is Shorts guy when you need him? But yeah, dude, we got the coach in place. Now it's time to start work. And I love the fact that he was like, all right, we got the welcome to New Jersey out of the way. Time to hit the ground running. Like time to get going. He's already reached out to all the players. I know a lot of guys are in the Worlds. Congrats to Palat and Nico and what a hell of a game. But it's Palat. Bennett. Is it 3-1?
Is it 3-1? Maybe
I just looked down and Michael said,
I'm in a commercial break. Maybe I missed something. I don't know. So
who knows?
Either that or my Sling app is just going crazy again.
No, it's
not
3-1.
Okay.
Come on, Michael. You just
Michael. Jeez.
Unless Michael's got some kind of insight to the future. Maybe he's got
Maybe
that sports almanac in his back pocket.
Yeah.
He's, reading a little too
DeLorean.
far ahead. Cornhole's
Got a little
gone, man.
DeLorean shopping, and then he went to the future. Although, I think we already passed the year that they went to, right? Wasn't it like 2021 or something like that, or 2019?
Like,
I can't remember.
Something like that. 2020. Some crap. Or like 2014. Where are my flying cars? It never happened. We just have a bunch of Cybertrucks that break down because they go over a puddle.
Someone said that the other day. If they made Back to the Future now, they would be going back to 1994, and it's like, ooh,
yeah,
I feel old.
God dang it. You know what's funny? You know what today is? Since you're a big movie guy, last day of a high school. What movie am I referring to?
Last day of high school? There's 1,000 movies like that. Which one do you want?
The one in particular, May 28th, 1976. It was the last day of
Dazed and Confused.
There you go. Boom.
All right. There you go.
Dazed and Confused. So Dazed and Confused.
All right.
If they did that movie now, it would be, I think they said like, oh crap, when that movie was released. I just saw this and now I'm going to forget. It was like 2007 or something like that. I was like, oh my
Summer
God.
School.
Summer School. What a great movie too.
Take your seats.
Ted, I saw Ted just text me and I can't look at my text message right now. Sorry, Ted.
Oh, Ted.
Oh, no, not Ted. Tom did. Sorry, Tom did. It flashed up.
Oh, Ted says today is the devil's anniversary? What?
Tom, that picture weirdly looks like my dad. So that's weird. He took my face and he put it on the guy from Waterboy when he was shirtless, squeezing his nipples.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Very nicely done. So yeah, we're going to see, what happens here now. Step one of this process is complete. You got Sheldon Keefe. You got him on the team. You have a good idea of what he's going to bring. Obviously Fitzy saw that name and he immediately became interested in it. I mean, they did interview a number of other candidates, but it seemed like as soon as Keefe became available, there was kind of like the tractor beam kind of like whoop, just kind of like right in on
tractor beam sucked me in.
And
thanks for understanding, bud. That's why I love having conversations with you. Yeah.
Oh man. That's like, yeah, tractor beam. Suck him right
in. Total connection.
But yeah, it seems like, step one is complete. And now they have to start thinking about these other changes are going to be made with goaltending, beefing up the beefalytics. We love beefalytics here at the Let's Go Devils podcast. But yeah, I think Fitzy did a good job. He didn't rush it. As we've seen, he has shown a lot of patience, not only with, this coaching decision, but also with free agents and moves and trades and stuff like that. You never see him really rushing, just blah, 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 and it's done. I think this came together quickly, but still, I think they took their time on it as well. From what I'm gathering, it doesn't seem like Fitzy was like, yeah, I need an answer by tomorrow. All right, that's it.
He said 8 to 10 candidates, and Max just brought it up too, and I was going to bring it up. They did interview Jay Pandolfo, and they did interview the coach from Denver, the University of Denver. So they did go outside the box on guys that were first time or would have been first time NHL coaches. And you nailed it, dude. I feel like he's very meticulous in what he does, and he's very calculated what he does. He doesn't knee-jerk reaction certain things. Go back to not firing Lindy Ruff, when he should have multiple times. That road trip to Arizona should have been Lindy Ruff's last game, but it wasn't. But like, yeah, there's
been experience with Beer Baron.
Oh my God, shoot the goddamn puck! I'll never forget that as long as the loudest. Somebody was on the bench like, damn, dude, some dude is pumped.
I just love how like every other word out of your mouth was like F this, F that. And you turn to me halfway through, you're like, what am I, effing cursing or something like that? What the heck's going on over here?
It happens.
It's good. I'm like, yeah, you're good.
It happens. It is the greatest. It is the greatest word in English language. It just starts interjecting itself into every other word for me, and I don't even realize I'm doing it. It's like Tourette's. I get like selective Tourette's. It's usually when I'm angry and had a few beers. This effing thing, this effing guy, and I'm like talking to people in front of us from Wisconsin. It was a great time. Anyways,
yeah, I'm trying to keep it PG-esque for the show here.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
It was quite hysterical. I will say that. It gave me quite a chuckle.
Yeah, but so going back to the coaching decisions. So now what's going to be interesting is leading into this draft, which is not that far away. I mean, the draft is like right around the corner.
Yep.
The team is going to start making some decisions on like what they want to do with this 10th overall pick. If history shows us anything, it shows us that Fitzgerald is willing to hold on to that first round pick. If you don't believe me, go back to when he used all 3 first round picks on Muhammad Dulin, Stillman, and Mercer. It worked out in our favor, don't get me wrong, but it was like, I remember everybody was like, yeah, we could package all 3 of those and get XYZ, and it was like, nah.
Now, wasn't it Holtz? Was that
the Holtz
Muhammad
draft?
Dulin
Yeah.
and Mercer? Yeah, I think that was
you're right.
You're
right. Stillman was the year after. I think they had 2 first round picks that
was
year.
he a first rounder, Stillman? Or was he a later? I can't remember.
Pretty sure he was a first rounder. He was like mid first round.
Okay.
But my point being is like, you don't know if he's going to deal the pick. He always says he might, and he never does. But he takes the phone calls on it. So Stillman was a late first. Thank you.
Okay.
But yeah, so we'll see what's going on. Whoa, your voice just got way more clear. Sam must be doing some behind the scenes stuff.
Mine could just be my crappy Spectrum internet out here in LA. So.
Oh yeah, maybe. No,
is it back to being bad again?
Yeah. No. It's my headphones. I had to adjust it.
Brendan Smith house for sale.
Oh yeah, that's no. That's a real thing. His house is. He was in Westfield, it's not too far from where I teach. Yeah, I was surprised. I'm like, usually guys are like in the Oranges or in Hoboken. Well, if they're younger, they're in the Hoboken area.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I'm going to go settle into Westfield, like a real town.
Yeah, Montclair dude, too. I feel like people live in Montclair as well.
A lot of guys. Yeah. But yeah, his house is on the market. I guess they gave him the call and like, Brendan, go get your realtor on the phone. You're not coming back. We asked Sheldon. We asked Sheldon, and he didn't want to put you on the wing again. So go get your U-Haul.
and Corbin is saying that May 27th, 1982, John McMullen's purchase of the Colorado Rockies and move to New Jersey is approved. Okay, so a day or two after? What's today, the 29th, 28th? Somewhere around there? What the hell is today?
Today's the 28th.
28th, okay. So we had a little, I guess that's a little anniversary over there, too.
Mm-hmm. May 28th.
May 28th. Okay. So happy anniversary, us as Devils fans, for, getting a team to the great state of New Jersey.
Our born day is May 28th.
Yeah, there you go. That's what's up. I was a wee 2 years old. Bear Baron was just coming out of the womb.
No, dude, I was born in 82.
Right, 1982 when this happened.
Oh, yeah. I know I wasn't born yet. I was born June 15th is my birthday, so I was still.
Oh, that's right. You're still hovering around.
Yeah,
you're trying to find your way out.
Embryonic fluid. Yeah. I was like, what is this? What is this world I float in? Contemplating.
Oh, man. But I think this was a good move by Fitzy. I think, of all the coaches out there, if you were not going to bring in, this first-time NHL coach sort of deal, and I know I was against it at first. I wasn't too excited with the idea of Sheldon Keefe after all of his, NHL playoff blunders. I know in the AHL and in the minors, he is a very good track record, but that's the minors. We're talking about the major leagues here, and that's a completely different story. But I think the more that I've analyzed and thought about it, and also put on my Captain Hindsight glasses, I think this was a really, really smart move by Fitzy.
Yeah. I like Ted keeps saying, like, I should be at the next presser. I mean, what do you want? Excuse me, Sheldon, local moron here. I got a question about what you think you're going to do with the lines. Are you going to shake them up or are you going to keep them the same? To be honest with you, like, there were a few questions that I'm surprised weren't, asked of him.
Local moron.
Local moron here. Buffoon, number 3. If, they gave me this microphone, and I don't know what to do with my hands now.
Can you take my question now? Because I got a class starting in like 15 minutes. I got to get back to over here.
Don't tell my boss I'm here. But anyways, let's talk about your local Devils hockey knowledge. Are you aware? So there was something that happened where he kind of brought up, how he's excited to kind of get his coaching staff underway and start looking for like assistants and things like that. And halfway through what he was saying, Matt Laughlin got on the microphone. He goes, "Oh, and by the way, just to let you know, also, speaking of assistant coaches, in the crowd is our very own Ring of Honor, Sergei Brelin." And it was like, ooh, what if he doesn't bring him back, dude? Like, that's weird as hell. You just brought this dude. Anyways. By the way, way off topic. I think you will too. Way off topic. If you like the comedian Shane Gillis, go watch the show Tires. It is hilarious. I highly recommend it. It's on Netflix. Okay. Tires. Oh my God. It's fantastic. Shane Gillis is hilarious. Anyways. Back to pressing matters.
Thank you, local moron, for that great question over there from the crowd. Amazing.
Do you like it? Are you going to wear that third jersey? Are you going to wear that dumb jersey? I hate that thing, and I hate it. It looks so dumb. And then you see I'm actually wearing it. I'm like, but I kind of like it. I like it. I don't. Now I'm starting to sound like Brian Regan. I like it. It's good. Good for you, it's good. For me, not so much. But for you, good. Me, no. That's pretty damn good. Brian Regan, too. Yeah,
we should just try and think of all the most boneheaded questions that we can possibly ask. And then
what do you think about those people throwing tater tots on the ice that one game when you was with the Maple Leafs? When you guys came in and they disallowed those 3 goals for phantom reasons because they were like rigged and because you guys are from Toronto, it's got to be a conspiracy or whatever. And we started throwing beers and stuff. What'd you think? Did you like that? Was that a fun thing for you to go through? I was like, yeah, that was fun.
Sheldon, let me ask you a question. Do you really put mayonnaise on your French fries up there in Toronto? Because I gotta know. I'm not gonna fly over here in New Jersey, okay?
I'm gonna show you some. These are called disco fries, my man. It ain't no poutine.
Ain't no poutine,
but it's no poutine, but it is disco fries. It's the New Jersey thing. You might have a minor heart attack halfway through the bowl, but it is time to wrap it up. It is time to wrap it up.
Oh,
once we start doing that atypical New Jersey accent, which a lot of people love. If you ever go on Reddit and you read the comments,
loves it. Yeah,
how they love it when we get into that.
Love it.
These idiots are doing that voice again. That moron talked about Brady Kachuk again. I did, and I will until he's here.
That beer can that almost hit you. That was me.
Hey, you remember that Coors Light that went right across your bow? Right across your hair. It gave you real skim right across the haircut. Yeah, that's me, bud. I played quarterback. Bayonne High School. 86, pal. 86.
Did you hear that fire Sheldon chant? Yeah, I started it. Over here.
I started it. And you know what's funny? The sorry one might have been me too. I don't know. I can't take credit for everything, but Maybe it was me. Maybe it's you.
I started the quit, Keefe, quit. That's what I started. I started that chant right afterwards.
Oh my God! I was about to say a joke and I can't because it's definitely not family friendly. So I'll refrain.
Thank you
Anyways.
once again, local moron, for your questions here at the press conference.
And put your, what did you call that? Tarp? Did you put your tarp back on? Thank you, sir. That's don't worry, security is escorting him out.
There was an incident at the press conference today.
A Steve-O sized, yeah, a Steve-O sized tattoo of Sheldon Keefe on my back. Hey, Sheldon, do you like the local ink I got here?
All right, we're gonna wrap this up because we're just goofing off now. But
Yeah.
nice to see everyone on the old YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, all that sort of good stuff. We know we've been a little bit sporadic here. Yeah, the holidays and everything going on. People are traveling, all that sort of stuff is happening. So we know we haven't been as consistent as usual. But now with Sam Wu off of LTIR and, Shorts Guy and Beer Baron going to be getting the summer off, that teaching gig where they get a couple months off during the year.
Yeah, but if we don't work, we don't get paid, bud. That's how it works. Anybody's like, teachers get off. I'm like, yeah, you go deal with these crazy kids all year, and then
you get paid for watching that Keefe press conference during the day today. You get that, huh?
I listened. I didn't watch it. I only listened. Anyways,
no, but with everyone,
go on with your final thought.
We're going to have some, obviously some summer vacations and stuff like that, but we're going to get back to a little bit more on the regular side of things. I know we had some technical difficulties behind the scenes with stupid internet updates from cable companies last Wednesday with Nick Villano, on the State of the Fan address. But with Sam Wu now back in action, you can expect some more consistency here once again from your favorite Devils podcast, the Let's Go Devils podcast. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe. We truly, truly appreciate it. And thank you for everyone tuning in last minute, unexpected, unannounced. But we're here.
Tuesday.
We're rocking. On a Tuesday. On a Tarps Off Tuesday. It's not only Taco Tuesday. It's Tops Off Taco Tuesday. Oh, here it goes. Here it goes.
Just check it. It's taking the thing off.
Oh, Sam Wu's turning up the music.
Oh, yeah. Final thought.
Final thought.
The AC's on. Keep this on.
I think it's a good move by Fitzy. Good job.
Yep. Agreed. Final thought. Sheldon Keefe, lead us to the promised land. Let's go, boys.
Boom. We'll be back again if any other news breaks. If not, we'll probably see you on Sunday night. Don't forget, State of the Fan address tomorrow, right here on the Let's Go Devils podcast network. I'm sure Nick and Sam will have a lot more to discuss and talk about. Thank you so much, everybody. And until next time, what would we like to say, and crew?
Let's go, Devils.